Remember the victims of political violence and the message from organizers.
Plus, tragedy in Beaumont. A little boy found unresponsive at the bottom of a pool. How police say he may have died.
And a horrific attack on a church in Michigan, just the latest mass shooting in America. What authorities have learned overnight. 12 News Daybreak starts now.
Good morning, Southeast Texas. Thanks for waking up with Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Tia Johnson.
And I'm Mark Armstrong. It's 7:01. Let's go ahead and get a first look at your weather with meteorologist Jeff Gerber. And here's a live look outside from our Roofing 911 Live Sky Cam network above Orange as we approach sunrise. Jeff, it's feeling great out there this morning. What can people expect today?
Yeah, a nice mild start, if not cool. Jasper now down to 55 degrees, and we're at 59 in Beaumont. A lot of lower 60s as well. Orange at 62, Silsbee and Kirbyville's at 63. Port Arthur's dropped to 66. Woodville's been holding into the upper 60s this morning, right now showing 68. So not bad at all. As I mentioned earlier, maybe a lightweight jacket for the little ones if they're running out to get on the bus for this morning. It's a little bit cool there in Jasper. Take you out to our Orange, the Horseman's Western Store camera. We have mostly clear skies out there this morning. Sun hasn't quite come up on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. Currently 66 in Orange, humidity at 86% with a north wind at about 7 miles per hour. Our day planner shows highs around 90 today, so even though it's a nice mild start, we will get hot again this afternoon thanks to those northeasterly winds. Humidity not too bad, so it should feel fairly comfortable out there for this afternoon with mostly sunny skies. As we head towards the end of the week, we do see a small chance for a few showers, but only one day what it looks like we'll see some showers. We'll show you that in our 7-day forecast.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Over the weekend, Southeast Texans came together to remember victims of violence. A little over a week ago, hundreds assembled in Beaumont to remember Charlie Kirk. And last night, about 24 met up at Riverfront Park to condemn recent political violence. It's a call for unity after so many acts of violence across the country.
Yeah, Derek Jones in studio here this morning with more on how Beaumont leaders are responding to the issue. Derek?
Mark and Tia, last night's gathering was meant to both remember the victims of political violence and to urge people here to stand together. About 24 people met for the vigil organized by the Southeast Texas Initiative and the Jefferson County Democratic Party. It comes as the nation continues to reel from the assassination of conservative youth activist Charlie Kirk. Democratic Party Chair Joseph Trahan says Sunday night was about unity and spirituality, not partisan politics.
And individuals who choose to commit horrendous acts, that should not be assigned to the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. It needs to be assigned squarely with the individual or group of people that choose to exact violence. And this, again, is an opportunity for us to come together.
Beaumont City leaders, including Councilman LaDonna Sherwood and Councilman A.J. Turner, were among those showing support. Leaders say their hope is simple: more compassion and understanding across the community. In studio, Derek Jones, 12 News.
All right, Derek. People also gathered last night with heavy hearts in Hampshire Finette to remember Jaylee Morales.
Friends and family came together for a lantern vigil at the softball field. Flowers were placed on one of the bases, and Morales' uniform adorned a table. Her loved ones remembering her as a standout softball player. She died a week ago from asthma complications. Her teammates say she was like a sister to them, while coaches tell us she was a talented athlete and the kind of player every coach hopes for.
Never expect to lose a player before myself, and I always wonder, later in life, what it's going to be like for them. And so again, I had no doubt Dayley was going to be one that strived for her excellence, and I looked for the day to hear all about her life goals.
Classmates want to make sure Jaylee is remembered for her bright spirit and leadership. Her funeral was held Saturday.
And developing this morning, Beaumont police, they are working to learn how a 3-year-old boy died after being found in an apartment pool Saturday. Now, this happened at the Edge Apartments off of South Martin Luther King Parkway, and this is being investigated as an apparent drowning.
Police got a call that the child was missing around 7 p.m. Saturday. Officers began searching the complex, eventually finding the boy unresponsive in the pool. They tried to save him while waiting for EMS to arrive, but the toddler was taken to hospital where he died. No further details are being released at this time. Police say the incident is under investigation, and of course, we'll keep you updated. Time now 7:05. At least 4 worshipers are dead and 8 more injured after a horrific attack during a Sunday church service in Grand Blanc, Michigan.
Yeah, police, they say an ex-Marine crashed his vehicle through the front doors of the sanctuary, jumped out and opened fire with an assault rifle. He also used an accelerant to burn the building to the ground. Jay Gray has more on what we have learned about this tragedy overnight.
Overnight, federal agents, police, and firefighters continuing to work the scene. Investigators searching the suspect's home. As a stunned community also searches for answers.
We have also witnessed the result of wicked rule in our county, state, and nation.
Flames and a spray of gunfire ripping through a Sunday service at a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan.
We heard a big bang and it blew the doors in the church, and then everything after that was chaos.
Chaos, leaving at least 4 dead, 8 injured. Carried out, police say, by this man, 40-year-old ex-Marine Thomas Jacob Sanford.
He drove his vehicle through the front doors of the church. He then exited his vehicle, firing several rounds at individuals within the church.
Also, allegedly setting fire to the sanctuary, worshipers instantly shifting to heroes as the killing spree unfolds.
They were shielding the children who were also present within the church, moving them to safety. Just hundreds of people just practicing their faith. Just extreme courage.
The horrific attack ending as police rush in, fatally shooting the suspect in the church parking lot. Jay Gray, NBC News, Grand Blanc, Michigan.
And at this point, there's no clear motive for this attack. Teams, they have been working around the clock, sifting through the rubble, searching for evidence and for missing church members.
In other news, over the weekend, a gunman also killed 3 people after shooting into a crowd at a North Carolina bar. It happened in Southport, just south of Wilmington. City officials say the man was on a boat on the Cape Fear River and fired at the American Fish Company bar. At least 8 other people were injured. He then sped off on the boat, but the Coast Guard detained him at a nearby boat access ramp. Police identifying the suspect Sunday afternoon.
Suspect is a now Max Edge. He's been arrested and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, inflicting serious injury.
Police say the suspect identified himself as a combat veteran who suffers from PTSD. He's being held without bond and is set to appear before a judge later today.
Closer to home in Eagle Pass, 2 people are dead and several others are hurt after a gunman opened fire in the parking lot of the Kickapoo Lucky Casino. Now the suspect, a 34-year-old San Antonio man, was arrested after leading DPS troopers on a chase. He now faces 2 counts of capital murder and 5 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Switching gears now to some money matters. Seasonal hiring activity is set to be the slowest since the Great Recession. According to new information released Wednesday, companies have announced just under 87,000 seasonal jobs so far. That's about half the hires announced this time last year and far below the more than 400,000 posted by this point in 2023. Economists say retailers are bracing for a weaker holiday shopping season, relying more on automation and efficiency rather than temporary hires. This year's Spirit Halloween leads the pack with 50,000 jobs to fill, followed by Bath & Body Works with 32,000. But major employers like Amazon, UPS, and Target have yet to roll out big seasonal hiring plans. 7:09 now. A crash can raise big questions for parents like, is that car seat still safe?
So what do you need to know before you buckle up? Consumer Reports breaks it down.
Reports car safety expert Emily Thomas was recently rear-ended on the highway. Thankfully, she's okay and her kids weren't in the car, but their car seats were. That raised a big question for any parent. Do you need to replace a car seat after a crash?
If you've been in a minor crash, you may not need to replace your car seats. But if it's been a moderate to severe crash, then you should definitely replace them. Always follow the instructions from your car seat manufacturer.
So what's considered a minor crash? Here's the checklist from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. If any of these criteria are not met, it's time to get a new car seat.
In my case, the car seats looked fine. There was no visible damage. There were also no injuries sustained in the crash. The impact was at the rear of the vehicle, so the doors closest to the car seats were not damaged. However, both vehicles were towed and there was airbag deployment. So this counts as a moderate to severe crash and the car seats have to be replaced.
Some child seat manufacturers say you should replace their car seats after any crash. You should follow the instructions of your car seat manufacturer.
If your car seats need to be replaced, talk to your insurance company about covering the cost. I'll also need to properly dispose of my car seats so no one else uses them. Remove all the covers, cut the harness straps, and mark the shell with do not use.
Even when your kids aren't in the car, make sure their car seats are properly secured so they don't become projectiles in a car crash. If you have a booster seat, buckle it in. When riding with your kids, make sure they're properly harnessed, snug, and at the correct height.
All right, still ahead here in our third hour of Daybreak here on 12 News Plus. Hair loss is a big side effect of chemotherapy, but there is a new hair product that is changing the game for cancer patients. Plus, a big clothing brand getting in on the joke after a woman's prank goes viral. Your trending news is coming up. Your time is now 7:11.
Share your pics and video with 12 News. Just go to the Near Me tab inside the 12 News Now app and click Share with Us.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I wouldn't say that I was like a partier, but I would say that I was a social butterfly. So we would just always drink. That night, I went through a red light and I T-boned another vehicle. And I just remember thinking like, oh no. Right after the DWI, I lost my license and I did 30 days in jail. I could have killed him because I decided to be reckless. I have a ton of regrets. I'm Katie. 5 years ago, I got a DWI, and I'm still paying for it every day.
As tropical activity picks up in the Gulf, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters. Get prepared before a storm hits. Watch the 12 News Hurricane Special, streaming on 12 News Plus. From the must-haves in your supply kit to the evacuation routes you'll need to take, plus safety tips and how you can protect yourself from storm scammers. The 12 News Hurricane Special, keeping you prepared. Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, "Don't mess with Texas," means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn here with one of the most important hurricane tips, having an evacuation plan. First, gather food, water, and medicine before storing it in an emergency kit. Plan well in advance where you're going, how you'll get there, and if you'll need to transport any pets, small children, or the elderly. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
In your health news this morning, for cancer patients, losing hair is a frustrating possible side effect of chemotherapy, but a new hair gel that fights hair loss could help. Here's NBC's Elise Herschel.
Chemotherapy and hair loss, two things that tend to go hand in hand. But this gel, developed at Michigan State University, could change that for cancer patients.
I think definitely not losing hair, it can maintain their confidence.
Researchers with MSU developed a water-based gel that works to help people going through chemotherapy save their hair.
It would touch your scalp and it would slowly release a drug that constricts your blood vessels and thereby decreases the chances or the likelihood that the chemotherapy that's running through a cancer patient's veins would enter into the hair follicles and either damage or destroy them.
It uses adrenaline and lidocaine, both drugs commonly found throughout hospitals, and it works just as easily as shampoo.
Just like a shampoo, the patient can put it on the hairy scalp, as long as the gels should be on the scalp. It can do its job, and once they're done, they can just wash it away by a little bit cold water.
One researcher who worked to develop the gel, Brian Smith, says there are some cancer patients who risk not going through chemotherapy just so they can save their hair.
Having a solution like this could be a game changer. It could actually support their chemotherapy. It could make it better, or even allow them to say yes to chemotherapy.
Hair is something a lot of people present to the world, and Smith says this gel can improve the confidence and self-esteem of cancer patients.
Sun's coming up over the horizon this morning. You can see it right here in Jasper. We're starting to see that sunrise this morning. Just a couple of clouds out there. Looks like it's going to be a pretty nice day all in all. Just a little bit hot with temperatures reaching the lower 90s for this afternoon. But yeah, beautiful sunrise there over Jasper. This camera brought to you by Provalis, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. Temperature-wise, Jasper is one of the cool spots on the map. Matter of fact, it is the coolest spot of all the numbers we have on the map. 55. Might be a lightweight jacket there, especially if you're a little one waiting for the bus early this morning. It's going to feel a little chilly. 59 in Beaumont, then everyone else in the 60s, from 68 in Woodville to about 66 in Port Arthur, down to 64 Silsbee, 63 Kirbyville, and then Orange currently showing about 62. Pretty quiet across central Texas, East Texas, coastal Texas, but there is some activity out in West Texas as far as some light showers out that direction. A little weak disturbance there, bringing in some cloud cover and a little bit of rain. For us, we'll see sunny skies for this morning and through most of the afternoon. We'll go mostly sunny, even though we will see a few clouds across the area. Highs today will reach the lower 90s, so it will be hot with northeasterly wind. At least the humidity levels will stay fairly low, so it won't be too uncomfortable out there in the warm temperatures. We'll fall back into the 60s and 70s for tonight. And as we head towards tomorrow morning, I think we'll see a lot of upper 60s. Here's Hurricane Alberto. Winds are at 145, so it is a Category 4 hurricane. It'll continue to kind of push north and eventually out towards the east, out into the open Atlantic. Right now it's moving northwest at about 14. And then we have Tropical Storm Imelda, which is right there off the Florida coast. You notice how organized Umberto is and how disorganized that Imelda is. Right now it's tropical storm with winds at about 50, so it has increased a little bit. They're expecting it to make a turn off towards the east here fairly shortly, probably by late this afternoon into tomorrow, and stay away from the east coast. So no direct hit on the east coast, but it'll give them some rain for sure and some wind along the southeastern coast of the U.S. Our forecast for today, mostly sunny. Northeasterly winds about 3 to 8, temperatures around 90, 91 for today, and then for tonight we'll see a lot of 60s. I don't think we'll see too many 50s, but a lot of upper 60s with partly cloudy skies and northeasterly winds at 3 to 8. Pretty quiet this whole week. There is one day, and that looks like Friday, that we'll see a small chance for a couple of showers. Besides that, generally temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s for highs, and then morning lows are going to be some middle to upper 60s. So nice mild in the morning. Could see a couple of hot afternoons. Our normal temperature this time of year about 88, 87. So we'll be just above that through the next 4 days.
This coming weekend looks like a repeat of what we just had this past weekend, at least on the surface here from that forecast. So that's
pretty much, yeah. We'll be pretty close to what we had last weekend. Last weekend was really nice weather-wise.
It absolutely was, yeah. Take more advantage of that. Thank you, Jeff.
Sure.
Give me all the credit for that one.
Wow.
All right, football fans, high school football fans, it's our game of the week, and it's going to be a big one. LCM and Hardin-Jefferson, they are entering the matchup at 1-0. Kickoff for that is at 7:30 Friday night, of course, at Hawk Stadium. And also be sure to get in your vote for the band of the week. Go to 12newsnow.com/band to decide if it's going to be the Battle Bears or the Hawk Band that wins this week. You have until 3 p.m. Friday. All right, it is 7:19. Time for some trending news here on 12 News Plus. And you may have heard about this woman's prank that went viral and how a clothing brand, Anthropologie, is now getting in on this.
Yeah, it started with creator Phoebe Adams. She convinced her boyfriend she spent $150 on a rock at Anthropologie. The video went viral, showing his shock over paying so much for what looked like a regular stone. Since then, the trend has exploded with millions of views and dozens of creators recreating that prank. Now, Anthropologie has joined in on the fun, launching its own rock collection as part of the joke. I wonder if they will send her own free rock or something.
They
since she
absolutely
started
should.
this.
Give it a name and all that kind of
Something.
stuff. I love all the dads in there who seemed all upset. It's just because they got scammed back in the day on that pet rock that was so popular. So, you know.
All right, well, this is wild, literally. Ruseyoni, who's 22, just broke the world record for the fastest 100 meters on all fours.
Yeah, I always call this a bear crawl. He uses his hands and feet to sprint like a real-life jungle animal. Take a look at him.
Tarzan.
Yes, he is. There he goes. A crazy fast 14.55 seconds was his time. He grew up climbing trees and copying animals, so now he is part human, part cheetah. It also started when a teacher told him animals run faster on all fours, and he said, say less. Now he's got the record and the speed, and honestly, the most feral flex ever.
Look how fast or how high up he can jump too.
That's how you stay in good shape right there.
I guess so. You try it. You think you can do that?
No, but I can do it slowly.
Real slow, huh?
Yeah, I'd land on my nose a few times, probably. All right, you don't have to be a football fan to enjoy this one, because the best part of the Super Bowl is the halftime show, which everyone loves.
I mean, I stopped watching after the halftime show.
That's all you can watch.
That's all we care about. Well, the headlining performer for 2026, Bad Bunny. The NFL made the announcement Sunday. 31-year-old Bad Bunny has become one of the world's biggest performers. He's won 3 Grammys and nabbed the coveted Billboard Artist of the Year title in 2022. He has even appeared on the big screen in films like Bullet Train, Caught Stealing, and Happy Gilmore 2. You can watch Super Bowl 60 right here on NBC 12 on February 8th, 2026. You know any Bad Bunny songs?
Do you know any Bad Bunny?
I don't. I know who Bad Bunny is, but...
I'm a huge fan of Bad Bunny.
Are you seriously?
Record. Sure.
What's a song that's a popular one that I might know, but I don't know it's him?
Oh, you know, it's the one on the radio all the time.
You don't know Bad Bunny. You don't know Bad Bunny. All right, well, we do know it's time for a break. 7:23 right now. You're looking at Lake Charles. Jeff will be back with your forecast.
We're working to get more information from Beaumont Police.
Join 12 News weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m.
We bring you the latest breaking news.
And keep you safe when weather impacts your day.
Following the excitement with your team.
Covering local issues that matter in your community.
Watch 12 News at 6 and 10 p.m. and stream on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you.
And together, we can make a difference.
Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
409 Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses.
It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of the human spirit.
It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify a community.
We give you the stats, but then we inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable.
We bring it to you all because sports lives in the 409.
I was invited to a party and I drank a few glasses of wine. I take off. The next thing you know, I see 2 pairs of lights behind me. They arrest me. It hurt. Now I have an ignition interlock system in my car and I have to blow in it every day just to turn my car on. When my son sees it, I hear him in the back seat. Daddy, what are you blowing in? It's embarrassing. My name is Eric Guerra. I had just a few glasses of wine, 8 months out, and I'm still dealing with the consequences of it.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn, here with another hurricane tip, protecting yourself against damaging wind. Secure or bring inside outdoor items such as lawn furniture and trash cans to prevent them from endangering property or people. Trim or remove trees close enough to fall on your home and protect windows with permanent storm shutters or sheeting. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Well, today is National Coffee Day. In addition to waking us up in the mornings, coffee also has many health benefits. It can improve blood sugar, blood pressure, and cardiovascular health in general. According to Cleveland Clinic, it also helps our focus, memory, and alertness. So which kind is best? Light and medium roasts retain most of their antioxidants, and cold brew is best for those with acid reflux. But health experts say don't overdo it by adding a bunch of creamer and sweetener. They also say it's important to be mindful of your daily caffeine intake. You do straight black coffee, so you don't have to worry about all that extra.
I love my coffee black. And if you are looking for some deals, we've got you covered. Here's how you can score some free and discounted coffee today. Dunkin', you know them, they are offering a free medium hot or iced coffee with your order through their app, Krispy Kreme. They're giving all guests a free medium hot or iced coffee and free donut of choice, and with no purchase necessary there. Also, Starbucks, they're going to give you 100 bonus points in their app when you buy any brewed coffee in any size.
At the bus stop this morning, mild temperatures, generally lower 60s, but up in Jasper, you're looking at some 50s, so you might want a lightweight jacket. Warm at recess will be into the lower to middle 80s, and then hot and dry as you make your way home this afternoon with temperatures into the lower 90s. Along the coast, a northeasterly wind at 5 to 15 knots brings our seas to around 2 feet today. Just a light chop on the inland lakes and bays today with mostly sunny skies. Only one high tide, that was way early this morning at 1:09. Our sunrise this morning coming up at 7:09, so we passed that, and then our sunset tonight is right at about 7:03. We'll see in north winds at Texas Point between 14 and 16. Water temperature there into the middle 80s right now.
All right, coming up next here in our third hour of Daybreak here on 12 News Plus, a candlelight vigil held in Beaumont to remember victims of political violence, an organizer explaining his concerns when it comes to how we talk about politics.
Plus, a nearly 35-year-old cold case solved in North Austin. How the 1991 tragedy reshaped the community as the killer's daughter speaks out.
And can the federal government avoid a shutdown before tomorrow night? What it would take with no current progress made on a spending plan.
And it's 7:27. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Southeast Texas. Thanks for joining us here on Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Mark Armstrong.
And I'm Tia Johnson. Your time now is 7:30. Let's take a look at your top stories this morning. We're working to learn the identity of a bicyclist who was hit and killed by a driver in Port Arthur Saturday. It happened around 4:30 p.m. in the 5000 block of Memorial Boulevard. Police Chief Tim Duraso tells us a driver hit the man who was riding a bike in the southbound inside lane. He died at the scene. Police are investigating what led up to this crash.
And we've learned the identity of the person killed in that attack on an ICE facility in Dallas last week. He was one of the detainees, 37-year-old Norland Guzman Fuentes from El Salvador. Two other the detainees, they survived that attack. Relatives say that one of them, Miguel Angel Garcia, he is still in critical condition after suffering several gunshot wounds himself. His wife says she's worried he's not going to wake up. Still no word on the condition of that second injured person.
Hillshire Brands is recalling 58 million pounds of corn dog and sausage on a stick products. The company says they may contain pieces of wood. 5 people have been hurt by the fragments so far. If you have those in your home, Hillshire says you should throw them out or take them back to the grocery store for a refund. All right, let's take a live look outside now from our Roofing 911 Sky Cam Network. It's the 7:30 hour, Jeff, so you know what that means. It's time to turn it up when it comes to that weather.
Well, it looks like we're going to turn up the heat for today as we're expecting to see temperatures climbing up into the lower 90s. Over the weekend, we had some upper 80s, so maybe 2 or 3 degrees warmer today, but starting off pretty nice. 57 right now in Jasper, 59 in Beaumont, then 62 in Orange and 63 in Kirbyville. So nice and mild, 65 in Silsbee, 66 Port Arthur. Woodville actually one of the warmer spots this morning at about 68. Outside, we have clear skies. Here's a look over towards Lake Charles. Look at the 210 bridge there. In Lake Charles on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam Network. A couple of clouds here and there. That's about it. Nice mild start out there to start off on your work week. As we get into the afternoon, as I mentioned, about 90-91 with mostly sunny skies. We'll see a little bit of a northeasterly wind today between about 5 and maybe 10 miles an hour. So that should keep our humidity levels in check for today. So even though we get to the lower 90s, it won't feel too hot out there. As we head towards the weekend, we see a small chance of rain, at least on Friday, and then some cooler temperatures back into the forecast. We'll have your 7-day in just a bit.
All right, Jeff, over the weekend, Southeast Texans came together to remember victims of violence. A little over a week ago, hundreds assembled in Beaumont to remember Charlie Kirk. And last night, about 24 met up at Riverfront Park to condemn recent political violence. Now, it's a call for unity after so many acts of violence across the country.
12 News reporter Derek Jones is in studio with more on how Beaumont leaders are responding to this issue. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Mark and Tia. Last night's gathering came just weeks after the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, part of the wave of violence that's prompted vigils across the country. The Southeast Texas Initiative and the Jefferson County Democrats hosted the Riverfront Park Vigil Sunday night, drawing about 24 people to remember the victims of political violence. Party Chair Joseph Trahan says he's noticing a shift in the way people talk about politics, and it concerns him.
People are wanting to blame entire parties or groups of people for the violence that exists, and I reject that. I think that it's a matter of the human heart. It's a condition that we've struggled with for years.
Trahan says the goal is to focus on compassion and understanding, regardless of political beliefs. Leaders hope the conversation sparked here in Beaumont will inspire more unity well beyond last night's vigil. In studio, Derek Jones, 12 News.
Thank you, Derek. People also gathered last night with heavy hearts in Hampshire Finette to remember Jaylee Morales.
Yeah, friends and family, they came together for a lantern vigil at the softball field. Flowers were placed at one of the bases and Morales' uniform adorned a table. Now, her loved ones are remembering her as a standout softball player. She died a week ago from asthma complications. Her teammates say that she was like a sister to them, while coaches are telling us that she was a talented athlete and the kind of player that every one of them hoped for.
Never expect to lose a player before myself, and I always wonder, later in life, what it's going to be like for them. And so again, I had no doubt Dayley was going to be one that strived for her excellence, and I looked for the day to hear all about her life goals.
And classmates, they want to make sure that Jaylee is remembered for her bright spirit and leadership. Her funeral was held Saturday.
7:34 developing this morning. Beaumont police are working to learn how a 3-year-old boy died after being found in an apartment pool Saturday. It happened at the Edge Apartments off of South Martin Luther King Parkway. Now, this is being investigated as an apparent drowning.
Yeah, police, they got a call that the child was missing around 7 Saturday. And officers, they began searching the complex, eventually finding the boy unresponsive in the pool. They tried to save him while waiting for EMS to arrive. That toddler taken to a nearby hospital where he died. No further details being released at this time, but police say the incident is under investigation. We're going to keep you updated as soon as we learn more.
Across Texas to Austin, where the man suspected in a nearly 35-year-old cold case has been identified, leaving the community reeling. In December of 1991, 4 girls at a North Austin yogurt shop were tied up, shot, and burned. Police identified Robert Brashers as the suspect after a wide range of DNA testing. Now we're hearing from a close friend of the girls. Ryan Howard says the case has stuck with him all these years.
Yeah, he was a sophomore at Lanier High School when the murders gripped the Austin community, forever changing their lives. KVU's Isabella Bosco has more.
It's been decades since Ryan Howard was a student at Lanier, now Navarro Early College High School, and he still has his yearbook. On the front, there's a pin with the words, "We will not forget," referencing the loss of his 4 friends, Amy Ayers, Eliza Thomas, Jennifer Harbison, and Sarah Harbison.
Throughout that school year, even as the years went by, you still constantly always thought, about them.
Howard knew the girls from the Future Farmers of America program. He also dated Sarah for a few weeks when he was a sophomore and she was a freshman.
All had, pretty strong, spunky personalities. We're kind of, country strong, so to speak. Never afraid to speak their mind or give you some good advice.
Howard says December 6th, 1991 is a day permanently etched in his mind when the 4 teenagers were tied up, shot, and burned at an I Can't Believe It's yogurt shop off West Anderson Lane in North Austin. The building was set on fire, which destroyed potential forensic clues.
Felt, just terrible, to even try to think about the thoughts and stuff that maybe they went through and how scared they would have been.
Howard says he has waited for answers, watching as 4 men were arrested and charged with capital murder in 1999. 2 of the cases were overturned and the other 2 never went to trial.
And you're kind of back to step 1 again of thinking, God, here we are. Especially the families, they don't have closure.
Thanks to DNA testing, Austin police identified the suspect, Robert Eugene Brashers, who died by suicide in 1999. His DNA is also linked to other serious crimes involving rape and murder. Howard says he's feeling a mixture of shock and relief.
Nothing like this had ever happened, before, so it really kind of shook the whole community.
Keeping their memories close and staying true to the words of never forgetting.
We all have kind of that same feeling of just some, compassion and sadness for the parents and the siblings of the 4 girls.
And again, Brashers died in 1999, but his DNA has been linked to other murders in other states.
Now his daughter is speaking out, saying her father became their worst nightmare.
Because my father was a contractor, my father was a businessman, my father was a con artist, my father was a lot. My father was a man of a lot of hats, and he went from American Dad hat all the way down to your worst nightmare is the easiest way I could put that.
Deborah says while the families might not get justice from this outcome, she hopes this will be a step toward moving forward after all these years.
And this morning, calls getting louder for cameras to be installed along Houston bayous. It comes after a woman's body was pulled from Buffalo Bayou near downtown Thursday night, marking the 6th body found in or near Houston's bayous in less than 2 weeks. And Mayor John Whitmire and the chief of police, they've already held press conferences in an attempt to quash the online speculation about there being a serial killer.
Yeah, but still many Houstonians say they'd feel better if cameras were installed to prove there's no foul play.
The camera might actually capture where an individual falls into the bayou or has an accident or is intoxicated or whatever, because that's likely what is happening.
Mayor Whitmire has pointed out Houston has 2,500 miles of bayous, and police insist there's no apparent connection among those cases.
And across Texas, surveillance video shows the moment a small plane crashed near Klein Sunday. This happened at Hooks Airport in North Harris County. 2 people on board were killed when that plane erupted into flames, and they were the only ones on board. Now this morning, state troopers, they're helping investigate this crash.
A DPS sergeant says the plane was taking off to head to Lubbock when something went wrong.
They developed some type of an issue, mechanical issue. The pilot attempted to turn the plane around.
Viewer video shows smoke billowing into the air moments after impact. DPS says it's working to notify the victims next of kin.
And back here at home, more water problems in Port Arthur right now as workers continue to repair yet another major water leak. Last week, the trouble was on 8th Street, but over the weekend, the new problem, a 36-inch line that serves those living south of Highway 73. That massive leak caused water pressure to drop below the state requirements, so all residents being asked to conserve and boil their water. Officials say water should be boiled for drinking, cooking, and making ice for about 2 minutes. You can also use bottled water for drinking. Residents, they're going to be notified when the water is safe to use again.
Across the nation now to a big concern this morning. Time is running out to avoid a government shutdown as President Trump plans to meet with congressional leaders today. So far, no apparent progress has been made on a spending plan to keep the government open after tomorrow night. Here's ABC's Nicole D'Antonio.
If it has to shut down, it'll have to shut down.
With just hours to go until a potential government shutdown, the president is set to meet with the top 4 congressional leaders to discuss a potential deal.
Our position has been very clear. Cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save health care.
Democrats are demanding a new funding bill that reverses Medicaid cuts and extends expiring Obamacare subsidies to prevent health insurance premiums from rising for millions of Americans. Republicans are pushing for a more simple short-term funding fix to keep the government running until November 20th.
What the Democrats have done here is take the federal government as a hostage.
A shutdown would mean millions of federal employees, including members of the military, TSA officers, and ICE agents would work without pay until the government reopens. And the White House raising the stakes even further, directing agencies to consider mass firings of federal workers from programs that are, quote, not consistent with the president's priorities.
They're trying to intimidate the American people and us.
Democrats argue nearly 22 million Americans could see their monthly health insurance costs nearly double next year if the Obamacare subsidies are not extended. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Funding bills need at least 60 votes to pass in the Senate. That means it will need at least 7 Senate Democrats to pass if every Republican supports the proposal. Still ahead, a Texas beekeeper steps in to help a neighbor with a dangerous and expensive problem. But first, a North Texas town is tipping its hat to history, literally. Your time now, 7:42.
As tropical activity picks up in the Gulf, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters. Get prepared before a storm hits. Watch the 12 News Hurricane Special, streaming on 12 News Plus. From the must-haves in your supply kit to the evacuation routes you'll need to take, plus safety tips and how you can protect yourself from storm scammers. The 12 News Hurricane Special, keeping you prepared. Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
The impact killed my dad and brother instantly. A man, after drinking excessively with his coworkers, ran a stop sign, T-boned my parents' Honda, and destroyed our family. He could have just said, hey, I'm not okay. There's Lyft, there's Uber, there's taxis. There's so many other options. Every day, someone else can be taken away.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn, here with some hurricane tips for protecting yourself against flooding. Take shelter in a designated storm shelter or an interior room and stay away from glass windows of doors. And if flooding begins, move to higher ground immediately. Never walk, swim, or drive through floodwaters. Remember, turn around, don't drown. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy.
The North Texas city of Garland is tipping its hat to history. Literally, Saturday, the city unveiled its newest landmark, a giant cowboy hat to honor its title as the Cowboy Hat Capital of Texas. Doesn't get any more Texas than that. Fittingly named the big hat, the 20-foot wide sculpture designed and created by Mellow Designs and Signs of Fort Worth will stand proudly near the city's historic rail yard. That's just blocks from where some of the world's most iconic cowboy hats have been made for nearly a century. It will stand alongside an exhibit called Hats Off to Garland, highlighting the city's role in shaping cowboy culture.
You might want a beanie as far as a hat up there in Jasper this morning. It's a little bit chilly, 57 degrees right now. Maybe a lightweight jacket before you head out the door. And even here in Beaumont, we're around 61, Orange at 62, and Kirbyville's at 62. So it is a little bit cool. 66 now in Port Arthur and 67 in Woodville, and then Silsbee at about 65. So nice mild start for most. Take you up to Jasper, and sun is up and shining for this morning. Then we go over to the Horseman's Western Store over in Orange. Also, we're seeing the sun up and shining with blue skies out there this morning on our Roofing 911 Live SkyCam network. Currently 67 degrees, humidity at 84%, and we're seeing a little bit of a north wind. We'll see that northeasterly wind today between about 3 and 8 miles per hour. Our satellite radar shows quiet conditions over East Texas and then a little bit wet over towards parts of West Texas, as we're seeing the disturbance there bringing a few showers, nothing too heavy out that way, but some light showers out towards the Big Bend area, heading up into parts of maybe even stretching all the way up towards Lubbock there, a little bit of that light rain. Futurecast showing temperatures climbing out of the 60s into the middle 70s by 10 a.m. and then we jump to the middle 80s by lunchtime. We're expecting highs today around 90 degrees. So it will be hot this afternoon, but not too bad with those north winds. That should keep our humidity levels down a little bit, makes it feel a little bit more comfortable. And then tomorrow morning, I'm looking at a lot of upper 60s. Futurecast says the temperatures around 70. I think we'll be a little bit cooler than that with some cloud cover out there. Hurricane Umberto has been out in the Atlantic all weekend. Right now winds are at 145, makes it a Category 4 hurricane. Moving to the northwest, looks like the track's going to push it out towards the Atlantic as we head towards, it looks like Wednesday into Thursday. And then on the other side of Umberto is Tropical Storm Imelda. Imelda is not quite as organized. You can see that by the satellite. This one's got an eye, looks really compact. This one's kind of spread out. This one looked like it might be moving into the southeastern U.S. Last week. At this point, the Hurricane Center says it's going to be pushing right back out into the Atlantic as we head in towards Tuesday into Wednesday and staying well away from the U.S. But it will bring some wet weather and a little bit of wind towards parts of the southeastern U.S. Right now, winds are at 50 with Imelda, moving to the north at about 9. So today, mostly sunny. No rain expected. We'll see northeasterly winds at 3 to 8 with highs near 90. Tonight, a lot of upper 60s with partly cloudy skies overhead. And then our 7-day forecast shows temperatures in the lower 90s through Thursday. So 91, 92, somewhere in that range. And then with that disturbance on Friday, we drop down into the upper 80s. And through the weekend, we'll see highs around, say, 88, 89, kind of what we saw this last weekend. So if you liked Saturday and Sunday of last weekend, you're going to like this weekend coming up.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, not bad at all. Like I said, Friday maybe a couple of showers, but not a lot there.
Are we going to fall behind on our rainfall again?
Well, right now we're still about 6 inches behind.
Oh,
so,
Lord.
yeah.
We was behind before I went on vacation.
We caught up for a second.
We did?
Yeah, we went
not really.
We went from 7.5 to about 5 inches behind, and then we're starting to.
All this good weather's ruining it for us.
Right.
So.
All right, thank you, Jeff. And just a reminder, you can download our app at any time to get the latest on the weather. You can check the radar by going to the radar tab in the app. All right, check this out. A positive story out of the Houston area with a sweet ending.
Yeah, this involves the community stepping up when one of their own had a dangerous and expensive problem on their hands. Here's KHOU's Michelle Choi.
Is it big? Oh yeah, no, this is very huge, open air hive. Yes, this is very big.
Less than 24 hours ago, we first visited Mr. Ejaz Alam's house after he discovered a buzzing problem in his front yard. Thousands of bees could be seen swarming. One of his neighbors, who happens to be a KHOU 11 team member, noticed the danger after a chunk of honeycomb fell on the ground and helped rally the troops. Or Trace and Bragg made a call to beekeeper Henry Brown and his team at Farmer Brown & Co., along with Belleville Rental.
Remove the bees tomorrow morning. Remove them.
Oh my God. Today, those tears of joy turned into laughter.
How happy are you today?
I am on cloud 9 is the past. I'm way over there.
Mr. Alam, a widower, is on a fixed income. This home of 44 years means everything to him.
Did his story kind of tug at your heartstrings?
Yes, it definitely did pull at my heartstrings, and he just seemed like a very sincere gentleman, you know, that actually needed the help. And I'm very, very, very grateful that I was contacted to help this, because I live to help people like this and serve our community.
Add to that the urgency of the situation, Brown says, is what compelled him to do this dangerous and expensive job for free.
Especially whenever combs are falling from a tree, that pose a very serious risk for families, children, and elderly.
That exact danger is what had Alam in a constant state of worry, but now he says he's beyond grateful knowing both his neighbors and the bees.
I am an animal lover. Anything that has been created by him is precious to me.
Will be safely relocated to Brown's property in Sealy. The hard work taking hours, but the sweetest moment came when Brown gifted the freshly harvested honey to Mr. Alam for everyone to share.
I bet you that's some sweet honey, though.
It looks good.
That's about the only thing that looked good, because them bees did not.
No.
All right, talk about a full circle moment. 25-year-old Anna Duarte grew up bouncing between shelters with her mom, Annette.
Yeah, fast forward to now, and Anna has become the first in her family to graduate college. She also landed her dream job helping others and just did something truly special. She gave her mom her first ever bedroom, a peaceful sanctuary after a lifetime of instability. Anna now works for a major nonprofit and says it is all thanks to her mom's quiet strength. Her message, keep going, one day it'll all be worth it.
Happy ending right there. All right, when we'll be, oops, can't talk this morning. We'll be back.
When industry news breaks, we're on the front lines, digging into the issue.
Lamar is working to protect Power City from hackers,
Filtering out rumors and giving you the facts direct from inside sources.
ExxonMobil and lawyers for the United Steelworkers.
Taking on the story from all sides.
The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection last year.
Southeast Texas is a power city, and we're bringing the power to you. 12 News, putting Southeast Texas first.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
409 Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses.
It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of the human spirit.
It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify a community.
We give you the stats, but then we inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable.
We bring it to you all because sports lives in the 409.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions. For all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip, cleaning up safely. After the storm has passed, avoid damaged or fallen power lines, poles, and downed wires in case of electrocution. Wear appropriate protective equipment including gloves, goggles, and boots. Clean and disinfect everything that got wet, and when moving heavy debris, work with a partner. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Welcome back to Daybreak. It's 7:55 right now, and it's time for your morning rush out.
It's everything you need to know as you start your day. Beaumont police are working to learn how a 3-year-old boy died after being found in a pool Saturday at the Edge Apartments. It's being investigated as an apparent drowning. Officers found the boy unresponsive and tried to save him while waiting for EMS, but he died at the hospital. No other details are being released at this time.
And we're working to learn the identity of a bicyclist who was hit and killed by a driver in Port Arthur. This one happened Saturday in the 5000 block of Memorial Boulevard. Police Chief Tim Duraso says the man was riding his bike in the southbound inside lane. He died at the scene.
And Port Arthur workers continue to repair another major water leak on a line that serves those living south of Highway 73. It caused water pressure to drop below state requirements over the weekend. So all residents are being asked to conserve and boil water. You'll be notified when it's safe to use again.
Beautiful morning out there. You can see the sunshine coming up over the horizon. Temperatures in the 60s to start off. We'll see highs today around 90, 91. Same deal for the next few days. We'll be looking at highs in the lower 90s, morning lows in the 60s. A few showers possibly on Friday, and then the weekend looks dry. Once again with lows in the upper 60s and highs in the upper 80s for the weekend.
Already looking like the best time of the year. I love that forecast.
I think it gets a little bit better once we get into October and those numbers come down a little bit more.
Well, I'm already liking what I'm seeing. How about that?
There we go.
Some positivity.
Thank you, Jeff, for keeping me straight there. Ted, thanks for watching Daybreak also here on 12 News Plus.
We'll be back at 11 a.m. for midday.
Have a great day, everybody.
Turn yours.